Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. Thanks for listening, loyal and lovely readers. I hope you're enjoying our adventures. It's another long and extended session in the Ziggurat. The combat continues. We're always grateful for any ratings or reviews you may be so kind as to leave us on your podcast app of choice, be that Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Lucas's weird one, what's it called? Can't remember, doesn't matter, or Podchaser or whatever. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Billowing Hilltop. You can look up maps and images and handouts from our adventures at billowinghilltop.tumblr.com. That's it, no other news or information, so let us push on with episode 109 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, whatever gets you through the night. I've been digging through Paul's capacious sack.
Oh dear! Is there any left? Is there anything left of Paul's capacious sack?
Well, I had to go shoulder deep in order
I felt something last night
to reach right in up the old
That's what the tickling was.
We had this bonus episode has come out that you won't know about. But do you remember when we talked about D&D and we didn't play D&D that time ages ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I published that. It went out.
Yeah,
I don't know how long.
It's in my.
I don't know how long ago it will be by the time that this goes out, but it was a while ago. Anyway, and then it occurred to me that there were a couple of people who'd written in asking us about D&D and Pathfinder and would we play Pathfinder. And I thought, well, we should, that's quite interesting that we've just done a thing about that. Think about it for next week. But while I was looking, I found another message.
Uh-oh.
Great episode again yesterday. This is from Lee, reader Lee. Great episode again yesterday. This is not
It's an actual
current. This message came in. I mean, this is from I don't know how long, over the summer at some point. 2 quick questions. 1, can we have another double-length episode? 1 monster fight isn't enough to get my hilltop fix for the week.
Well, this is
which I think is.
This is a monster.
Thanks,
fight.
Lee. Yeah, exactly. Just you have to binge all of these episodes.
Yes.
Second part, question 2. Do you know what your plans are when it's all over, brackets, TPK or campaign finish? And I thought that is amazingly appropriate.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, we're about to find out. Maybe.
I think yes.
I was musing on the pillars of D&D. The 3 pillars of D&D: combat, exploration, roleplay. I think episodes, I can never remember the numbers of the episodes, but anyway, the 2 with Marcus, roleplay. The 1 in the jungle, exploration. Ever since then, and for about the next 6 weeks, combat. That's the way I see it. Shall I set the scene? What are we going to do?
You know what we didn't do in between episodes?
What didn't you do?
We didn't have that kind of strategic conversation we were going to have about how to approach this room.
We touched
Well,
on
I've
it.
read your strategic conversation, and it ran along the lines of, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?"
Yeah, we need to have a chat, and then
Well, we could talk about it before we do our goes, because
we could.
it's getting
You're
to
right.
that point where
We've
got to make
it makes my life easier.
serious
And also I can
decisions.
write everything down.
Might
And,
love this.
I'm going to set the scene before we pick things up because it's so complicated. In fact, I think what I'll do, dear readers, is at some point I've got a screen grab of our battle mat showing the state of things as it is now, because it's
It's a mess, let's face it.
The state of disarray.
a mess. It's complicated. I put in some labels to help us with what's what, but in the shell of a nut, there is a big square room with a pit in the middle. The pit is scary and horrible, and there are green tendrils of smoke coming out of it. And all around it is an aura of corruption that seems to affect the characters when they're in it. Well, maybe. Leading into this big square chamber, we've got a couple of passages, and the characters have come down one of them. They've come into this chamber from the east. They have been chased into this area by these giant beetles, and Burple has cast a wall of force to block the corridor behind them, to stop the beetles getting to them, and more importantly, to block off the sound of the beetles, because their maddening chitter seems to be incapacitating people if they fail a saving throw. In the chamber itself, you've got 2 sets of double doors, one to the north, one to the south. The ones to the north lead into some kind of torture chamber with glass walls behind which writhe uncountable thousands of glowing green worms. Never good. Out of that torture chamber have flown 3 corrupted angel figures that are sort of looping around the room, trying to fly through people and steal their life force. In fact, last week, is it last week or was it the week before?
Last week.
One of them flew through Parker and stole some of Parker's life force. Parker's maximum hit points have gone down by 18.
That was last week.
Also, involved last week is this figure we're calling a Chaos Knight, this sort of anti-paladin of Chaos, a plate-mailed, sword-wielding nasty with worm mouths in his eye sockets. And it seems to be whispering to the other creatures, probably giving out instructions. It is up in the eastern side of the room where Burple and Buggy and Alessandra and Sessions are, and it's basically trying to kill Sessions. Parker is by himself out in the main hall. As Parker was in the southern part of the big square main hallway, the southern doors.
Oh, yeah.
Behind those doors, it's all maybe torchlit or firelit dimness. Emerging from the dimness has come this awful creature. I'm going to show you a handout, everyone, so that you can see what the awful creature looks like.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's a sort of crouching, skull-headed, worm-infested, broken armor, but also robe-wearing nasty.
So some kind of corrupted cleric.
Almost like the cleric version
Of the Chaos Knight.
That kind of thing.
That
Standing
was-
behind it in that picture, by the way, is a different kind of thing. We'll get to that.
But
Because
that's kind of what I look like.
That hasn't arrived yet. Is that what you're saying?
no, it hasn't arrived yet.
yeah.
That's right.
Got it.
It's late, like Lucas. This thing has leapt out of the gloom through the doors to the south and has raised its hands up from its weird crouchy squatty position and dashed them both down again and flung at Parker twin dark blades of necrotic energy. I mean, you know, as you do.
As you do.
And that is where we left things. So we're going to start with that, and then that'll be the end of the bad guys, and we'll move on to Uncle Buggy. But let's do that first. So this thing, this weird,
You
skull-headed,
also omitted to
horrible.
mention that there's a Naga down the bottom of the pit.
Oh, there was a
that we
Naga when
didn't
you first
quite kill.
arrived. That's right.
The other
that
thing is,
slithered off.
we did a lot of damage on one of these spirity angel things, and it's still not dead. So that's the worrying thing. We've done lots of damage, and it's still not dead.
There's been quite a lot of speculation I've noticed in your chatter about whether or not there's something that you're missing there. I
They've
would only
just
say that
got-
maybe the answer is simpler than you think.
They've got
It's
lots
got
of hit points.
points.
Damage resistance of some sort.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well,
Or even
Combination
immunity
thereof.
to some sorts of damage.
They're semi-corporeal, aren't they?
this is a more general point. Things in 5th edition, and this is what we're not used to because we've not really played through high-level 5th edition before, have just got absolutely truckloads of hit points. I personally not so sure that that is a feature rather than a bug, because I think that that tends to lead to combat grind. But hey, we're just going to play the system as it is. Right, Lucas, we
Go
are
on, give it your all.
going to roll to hit you with this creature.
It's 2 missiles or what?
It's something called Slashing Darkness. Here comes the first one. We're rolling a 2. That's not ideal. A second attack, rolling. Oh, 1 second. 18 hitting on class 25, Parker.
Yeah.
It does this much slashing damage, 7, 8, 10 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
And it does 13 points of cold damage.
Is this class as a missile?
It's a bit like a kind of necrotic version of your Fangs of the Fire Snake.
So is it a ranged weapon attack?
Yes.
So deflects
exact-
missiles.
I don't know that you can deflect
use your
a necrotic
reaction to deflect
energy
or
field.
catch the missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack.
Asked to make a spot ruling, I would say that this is energy. Catching it would just make things worse.
Well, I don't have to catch it, but I could deflect it.
Do you know what? You're in so much trouble. Go for it.
So I can deflect.
I don't
It's a
think this
ranged
is...
attack. Surely he can deflect it without taking damage.
me
If it
roll.
was a spell attack,
Okay,
then it-
so I can deflect 20 points of damage. 1d10 plus 13.
Okay, so you took 1 point of damage. I don't think that makes any sense because a lot of that was cold damage, but whatever.
Well, can I reduce the damage from the missile? You rolled 8 for the first thing, which was
8,
3d8, and then you rolled 2d8.
I think the 8
13.
became 10.
13 was cold.
There you are.
There you go. All right.
This thing,
Bartering.
then, having jumped out, it now runs back.
We get some sort of view into the room.
You do. And as it does so, it draws your eye into the room and you can see other things happening. I mean, obviously you can't see this session, so let's not worry about,
I'm just looking at the expression on Parker's face.
Parker, you can see, I'm going to say, a kind of wedge of this chamber.
Yeah.
And what you can see is bookshelves against the far wall.
Yeah.
You can see this creature that has ducked back and then clanking into place in front of it and closing out the round of what we would call the bad guys are a series of creatures that look just like the picture we were just looking at. Got it?
Oh, God.
They're like armoured knights of nastiness, but they're not like the armoured knight of nastiness that is fighting Sessions. Very confusing for us and for our readers. But they effectively phalanx into place in the doorway once this thing has jumped back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They are clad in ornate plate armour. They're carrying great swords. Unlike the kind of zombie Kia spawn that you fought before in your earlier adventures, there seems to be a bit of an intelligence about them. They seem to be a little bit more kind of souped up and a bit more armoured. They seem to move a little bit quicker and they seem a bit more together, just generally together. What I would say about that giant double-handed sword, they seem to be perpetually dripping with bright green sludge.
Oh, God.
You don't know what the sludge does. But
Can't be good.
You're very soon going to find out what the sludge does.
Have we got another wall of force?
Tell me about these doors.
Those doors are very heavy-looking stone double doors.
Are they open?
They're open.
What I'm wondering is, does anyone have any stone shape or anything like that? Basically, I'm tying up a concentration spell holding this wall of force, and if I get hit, then I have to make a concentration check. And we certainly don't want to let these beetles in the room. So is there another way that we can block them off?
What's our strategy? Are we running away or are we staying?
I think the thing is that we're not going to be able to do this in one go, but we're not massively drained of resources yet. Or
I think it's starting to tick down.
Yeah. How do things stand with people?
We've got dimension doors.
Where are we? What about hit points? I mean, has anybody taken a lot of damage?
Yeah, I have. Well, I'm on about
me
half.
too. I've taken a third.
I've taken a little bit.
I've taken a half, and I've taken this 18 points of whatever, reducing my maximum. But we'll see what happens when I.
It's really too early to talk about leaving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the tipping point between too early and not early enough is very, very far.
Yeah, I think there will be a
very
very steep kind of moment there'll be an extreme moment of, we're fine too, oh fuck.
Do you think we should isolate the thing? So basically retreat into the eastern atrium, which we first came in, kill the bugs, and try and close the doors so the others can't get at us. At least kill the bugs, and then go into the room and perhaps steal one room at a time or something. Because if we go into the big hall, we're getting them coming from the north, the south, behind us, and in the middle of the room. But if we
that's going to be the case whenever we go in the room. That's always.
Well, we could all run
over
over to one.
And then the Naga comes back.
Dan is always.
Yeah.
There's a reader of ours who posted on Twitter last week. I just had an epiphany about Dan.
Yeah.
Imagine being with friends at the pub and a fight almost starts with another group, but cooler heads prevail. As everyone is separating, I see Dan say, "Oi, tell your mum she left her knickers at my place last night."
I think that's a very unfair assessment.
Well,
it's an unfair assessment delivered by one of our readers.
But I am normally right that when we press in the situation that we press the advantage, I don't think we're going to win this fight, but I do think, but also at the same time, we haven't killed anything.
Yeah, so it would be nice to take something out before we fall back.
Yeah.
All right, so
I think we want to try and get the one that's tapped part of Parker's life force.
Yeah, that's this one here on the far side of the room.
Angel one.
It even has a note on it saying 18 points from Parker. That's interesting.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
I could move up to it, I guess.
I'm going to move up to it now and hit it.
All right.
Well, it would be good if you could kind of
Buggy's
get
out.
back towards the rest of us at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to try and sort of circle round, basically.
Okay.
Right, what I was gonna do is
Buggy
heal
should attack
myself.
the one on Sessions.
Well, I'm
got stone
depleted. No,
How depleted are you?
I'm on 82, so I've taken a third. of
You're
my
hardly
points.
depleted.
You're on 82.
Well, I was going to do a heal
only
on
have
myself
82
and then move up, And the other one was blocking my ears and raging.
Oh, we're back to the wax again.
So did you just say
So I
got
can block my
82?
ears I can do a heal. I don't know. What do you think?
Can you attack anything?
I think while the wall of force is there, you don't really need to worry about them, do you?
No.
Well, Dan's
No.
saying it's slightly, he only needs to be hit and take damage, and it might come down, and then it's really nasty, that chittering.
Well, what else will you get?
Well,
Well, I was
I
gonna
think we
block
have to
my
cross
ears.
that bridge when we come to it.
And that thing whispers, doesn't he? The key of
Got a fresh set of orc dice.
That's true.
I think we're certainly at the stage where we should just try taking out some guns and then see where we are.
That chittering was a wisdom save, wasn't it? It's like, I need an 18.
There was a big save DC.
Yeah, it was DC 18, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I tell you
but
what,
18
I'm going
wasn't
to block my ears, and then I'm going to start raging, and then I'm going to move up slightly.
Okay.
That's it.
So you're going to.
Confidence of the frontline fighter.
You feel that blocking your ears will give you advantage on the saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pardon?
Parker on 4. Bottom around 7, 8, whatever it is.
Right.
This is a long combat. What do you want to do, Parker?
I am going to move up.
These things
to
are
the-
standing in the doorway of what we're now going to call the library, and looking at you
Yes.
with their drippy green great swords.
I am going to basically run away from them. But I'm
Right.
going to run towards the creature that's taken 18 points off me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to whop
Number
him.
1, please.
Angel number 1, please. I'm going to hit it. First attack. Hitting armor class 16.
It's a miss. I'm very sorry. Oh,
Oh, it's also a miss. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I think so with a 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then the unarmed strike.
Oh,
Better.
it's
Is
more
the
like it.
24.
17. 24 is a hit.
That's 4 points of damage from the unarmed strike and 5 points of thunder damage. And then
Yes.
the final hit
Oh, I rolled off a 19.
Oh, dear.
That's an
is an
abysmal
obviously
set of
really-
rolls.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
fucking
Can you give me
utterly
a
abysmal.
perception check, Parker? Or
I
give me a
obviously
perception check.
didn't do anything, did I?
Or Arcana if it's better.
18,
Why doesn't
20
Maddie
in
roll an
total.
18? You think this thing looks a little healthier since it stole some of your life force.
So I can move another
Oh,
9, 10,
oh.
14. So I can basically
Doesn't matter.
move round
If he
to.
moves away,
that
I don't
works,
get my
yeah.
sneak attack.
Sneak
So
attack.
you're
Well,
running
I'm
right
starting
over to
to
the
one.
far side of the hall.
Yeah,
the hall
I'm basically
of
coming
welcome.
back round. I'm not standing around waiting for these other creatures to
So
come
you're
up.
standing near the corridor that you think leads to the counterpart atrium.
Yeah, can I see through the
Right,
doors there?
You can see through the doors there.
So what do I see as I
Chunky man
walk,
came
run
through there.
past?
Let me show you what you can see through those doors.
More worms,
Imagine if it was
creatures.
just like a queue of bad guys.
Yeah.
But we've already
No,
got
what
a
you
queue
can
of them.
see is basically the mirror equivalent of the chamber that you came in through.
Yeah.
And you can see sunlight filtering down a set of steps on the other side.
What's weird, isn't it? We chose to come
That's
in
our
one.
way out.
It didn't have the skeletal warrior. The other one did. What's the chance of that?
Well, 50%, I'd say.
It would have been better if we had, because we could have taken him out first
Sounds a bit like the
before we
Monty
went in the
Hall
main
problem.
room.
Is that out for Parker if it is real
Yeah,
Parker?
that's it for Parker then.
The top of a new round. Speedy Boots herself, it is Alessandra.
Speedy.
What do you want to do, Alessandra?
Well, considering that Parker's moved away from
Here comes
Angel.
a 20-minute
Angel 1. Oh,
trigonometry session.
Why don't
with
you just
Paul.
attack the one right next to
That's
Session?
the one.
You're going to shoot this thing?
shoot this thing.
Yeah.
Shoot it in the eyeball.
Hitting armor class 24.
He hasn't got an eyeball.
Hitting armor class 24, that is a hit. What are you hitting it with?
It's my longbow. So it's
Yeah,
piercing
okay.
damage.
Not the arrow, you're just hitting it with a longbow?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
fine.
that is doing 57 points of damage.
57 points of
What a
damage.
grosso.
Wow,
ridiculous.
well that's terrific. I mean, it's not terrific, it's shit, but, you know, thank you very much.
There we go. Fast,
It
efficient.
looks quite wounded as a result of Alessandra's excellent round.
Thank you very much.
Burbledy, herbledy, hobbledy.
You had
I'm
plus
16.
14 on your attacks.
No, plus 9.
Character audit.
TSR character audit.
Go for it.
Plus
So
33.
Oh, sorry. You were absolutely right. I was counting my attack.
Counting your attack roll.
Sorry, 21, 24.
What?
21, 24,
33.
33 points of damage.
Oh, you think you know someone.
You think
Sorry.
you know
I-
someone.
I 33 points of damage.
all this time
Oh, at least I'm
Turns
attacking,
out-
hey, Johnny?
Yeah,
You're
no.
living a lie.
Wait till I get up. I'll do something.
Yeah. In
Might
a
give
few
another
rounds
attack.
when you get up there. In a few rounds.
So I've got to take 24. I've got to take 24 off, basically.
yeah,
is
take
what we're
20,
saying.
take 24. Sorry, I can't.
Okay. I mean, I'm really nice with Parker and his bloody deflection and his
Honest
I don't know,
mistake.
bending over backwards
Just-
to be nice, and then it's your turn.
Just
and
can
just
it. Stop
Basically,
complaining.
make up damage.
Stop complaining. Like,
I will
an old
channel
woman.
this brooding resentment.
oh dear.
Oh dear!
Oh dear.
How very pleasing. What was that? That was something to do with Burple.
That was the
purple.
Zorozocial rolled a natural 1.
You're pretending that was a practice roll, weren't
That
you?
was a practice roll, yeah. I was just testing that it was.
What was
very
Burple
quiet.
doing with that one?
Nothing.
mention that
Nothing.
at all.
I was just practicing.
What was it?
It's not what
Sorry,
you
we were
you
arguing.
yeah, exactly. You were arguing. I was waiting for you to argue, and I thought, okay, I'll roll this. And
So you ran up to hit somebody.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I might go and hit the Cursed Knight.
And that was just a practice roll.
That was
To
just.
see
Okay,
how it
That
worked.
was. Well,
That's not gone well.
I haven't done that. Well,
On-
I haven't rolled anything yet. That was just a practice.
It's fine. And on to Sessions on 16.
Do I not get my other attack? Is that it?
Okay, have your second roll. Have your second roll. It's fine.
We need
Go
it.
for it.
Come on.
Okay. I'll.
There we
It's-
are.
We're all rolling really badly.
Some kind of
Needs
cosmic
practice,
justice
needs
is
practice.
at work here.
Yeah, they're just practice.
Paul making up damage.
I can't hit him from there
Parker
anyway.
making up deflection stuff.
I was going to do a lightning
Dan
bolt.
making up everything. And we move on to
I'd never have done that.
Sessions.
Start with the bonus action, which is to use the spiritual weapon, which won't hit her.
No, that's a miss.
17.
17 is a miss.
Better than my rolls.
And then
And then
Can't you turn anything?
I have one turn a day. Well, I have two, and I used one to maximize the damage on. I could try turn undead on this one.
Or some of the...
Or, I was thinking I could use, a reposition behind Buggy because he's our principal fighter
Probably a good idea,
or
actually.
secondary cleric. Or
Won't
should I
get
just
past.
try damage it? How wounded does this thing look?
the
Done a bit of damage
Chaos
on-
Knight.
The thing
Yeah,
that's standing
Funky
in
Man.
front of me.
Not very.
He's not very damaged.
It's looking like something that's got an awful lot of hit points that's taken some hit points.
Yeah.
That's where we are with this.
Banishment spell?
Warrior
It's
Chief of
concentration.
Chaos. Have a think about the hit points.
Banishment's a charisma saving
thing.
throw.
Between 200 and 300 hit points.
That's just picking numbers. I mean, that sounds like a,
But we've done
not saying those
Towards-
wrong numbers. I'm just
we've done towards 100 on it.
I think it's
Heading
probably about
towards-
you've
180.
done towards 100 on it.
Yeah,
yes.
towards 100 on it. If you're saying it's still not touched,
It's not
well, not
blooded.
that it's not touched, it's
I'm
had,
not saying it's not touched. I'm saying it's taken some damage.
but it's not
and
blooded. It's probably had 30% damage on it.
Anyway,
So one thing I
Sessions.
think I was
What do you think of my green skull, by the way, in the initiative turn order? Rather pleased with it.
That's very good. Anything we can do to just give Graham a bit more time to
Green
think.
skull of Chaos.
do we think the spirit guardians are helping at all?
It's doing quite
I
a bit of
think it
damage,
Takes
isn't it?
damage.
Yeah, if
Does
if
it take damage from them? No.
You think that it has some kind of super ability whereby if it saves against something where it takes half damage, it takes no damage.
Oh, but it still
Yeah.
has to save every round.
And it's been saving against your spirit
Okay,
guardians.
so I'm going to keep the spirit guardians then. But I'm going to cast Thunder Wave on it. Center it just in front of me. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Doesn't it affect anybody around you within 15 feet or something?
Do we want to establish that before I make a dice roll?
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. Anyone within 50. Yeah, I thought it was a point. Nope, I won't do that then.
Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you, Johnny. That was a good memory.
Well, it certainly is, because I'm standing right next to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, I'll have to do Shatter
On it.
on it, yes. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's an 18.
That's a save.
Okay. Is that
It
to
takes
half
half
damage, or
damage,
to,
yeah.
it means it takes no damage?
Fantastic.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so it's bad guys. It's time for the bad guys. Let's start with the angels. Angel number 1, please. Flies through Parker.
Hi-ho.
Rolls a 2 and fails.
Lovely.
Swoops through Parker and swoops past Parker in a great long loop around the chamber up towards the chamber it came out of. Angel number 2 swoops round to Parker, can swoop through Parker, rolling a 5 5. That's going to be a miss.
Cool.
Swoops through Parker can't go as far, obviously. So then angel number 3, who's only just emerged, is going to try and swoop through Alessandra. Hits armor class 13. That's not enough.
A miss.
Swoops through Alessandra, through Sessions, becomes recorporeal and re-emerges and swoops down into the bottom of the room. These angels are a nightmare, are they not?
Great rolling from you. Thank you.
Nothing happens through the doors to the south. In fact, the doors grind closed. You don't know what's going on there. Are they waiting for something? Are they protecting themselves? The beetles scrabble against the wall of force. The wall of force. And then finally, we have got our fellow here. Now, he is going to attack Sessions because
Spirit
Sessions
Guardians.
is standing. He needs to make a saving throw against the damage from the Spirit Guardians. He rolls a 4. That's not going to be enough.
Oh, that's a fail.
Oh, lovely.
How much damage is that? And what kind of damage is it?
It's a radiant.
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 Radiance.
A lot of dice rolled for 14.
Do you feel like you've done some of the damage that Paul didn't do last time that I had to cross back off and then put back on again? Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stop whinging.
It now tries to get... It's going to attack twice with its wormy eye sockets, and it's going to attack twice with its longsword. You've got a fantastic armor class, haven't you, Sessions? So
Well,
I
not that
feel
fantastic,
that you're
but-
going to be fine. But let us see. I mean... Ooh, okay, well, let's start with... Let's start with the wormy eye socket 1. Hitting armor class 26.
No, that'd be a hit.
You take 1d4 plus 5 piercing damage. You know that must mean bad news. 7 points of piercing damage as the worm bites into your mind. And then you lose 3 points of intelligence as it sucks your mind into itself.
Oh, okay.
The second wormy eye.
That might kill Purple.
Yeah, I was going to say, how
Buggy's
did we
not the
put other
smartest.
modifier?
An 11
That's a miss.
that hits armor class 21 with the second wormy
Well, that's
eye,
a hit.
doing a further 7 points of piercing damage and draining you another 2 points of intelligence. And then it strikes you with its monster sword.
Yeah.
It's not a monster, it's just a normal, horribly dangerous longsword. Hitting armor class 28 with the longsword. 1d8 plus 5 slashing. This is really complicated damage. This is obviously no consolation to you. You probably break out the world's smallest violin. 7 points of slashing. 9 points of necrotic.
Yeah.
And something nasty.
Oh, good.
The wound
Yeah.
seems to sort of be alive, like a tiny mouth brought into horrible life.
Yeah.
The slash is opening and closing. It's causing you some mental distress. Let's just quickly resolve that second attack, though. Hit armor class 22. Is
Another
that
hit.
going to be a hit?
Yep.
That is a further
Ow.
6 points of slashing damage. 10 points of necrotic damage, and this wound is also opening and closing like an awful, sick, living mouth.
You know that
Lovely.
tipping point we were talking about earlier on?
I'm not going anywhere near him when he's got these funny mouths. We can leave, but he's still going to have the mouths, chittering. So
The
yeah.
mouths are kind of going.
Let's just ditch Graham.
Do they look like Zippy's head from Rainbow?
I'm a wound. I'm a funny little wound.
Could have come up with a
On-
Try and lighten the
funny voice.
atmosphere.
I think I've done everybody, haven't I?
Well, I guess I need to
I think
make
that was
4
it.
saving throws to keep the Spirit Guardians up.
Oh, okay, off we go.
The 2 first ones, I guess, are 10s. Well, it was an 8, so it's kind of
Okay,
academic.
that's the end of that. No more Spirit Guardians. Oh dear.
Well, that's just great. Whose idea was this?
Graham's.
Uncle Buggy on 9.
So, dive in.
Sessions is standing next to you. Sessions
moving
has
up
got
to it.
weird, mouthy wounds that
I'm-
are opening and closing like tiny mouths.
I'm in a rage, so I'm beetroot red.
As you walk up next to Sessions, they kind of go, I'm going to pipe you.
Right, I'm going to smash it with the
The OK sword.
flame tongue. Come on. 20?
20 is a
hits.
It's a hit.
Hit.
19 points of damage.
What kind of damage is it?
Gross!
Slashing, 3 of which is cold. Magical cold.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, magical
Yeah, yeah.
fire. Sorry, beg your pardon. It was a cold creature, so it might do some more damage. Does it seem to do more damage, the fire?
Nope.
Next attack. Oh, yes, 25. 17 points of damage.
Oh, it doesn't like that very much.
Cold.
It goes.
Take that, laddie.
Excellent. Anything else from Uncle Buggy?
Yeah, no.
On for its Parker.
Well, I am going
Parker's
to...
basically
Kill them.
Benny Hilling around the chamber,
Yes.
chasing after his stolen hit points.
That's right, and that's what I will do again.
Well, I don't know that you're going to get them back, by the way. Even if you kill it.
I just... Well, whatever. I just want to kill it, whatever.
It starts as they always start. With a 4, it's a miss. And a 12. Ooh, hits armor class.
19.
19's a hit.
Lovely.
19's a hit
So that's
on the
7
fallen
plus
angel thing.
5. Then
Okay.
unarmed strike, hitting armor class 16. Guess is a miss.
Is a miss, I'm very sorry to say. And then finally a
Jesus Christ.
Abysmal dice rolls.
Yeah, very
It's
dismal.
really dismal.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I'm sticking with neck oils tonight's beer, by the
So
way.
I
Paul.
will
yeah.
move on through.
Well,
till
you start
basically,
combat
I
with
move
one
on
beer,
through
you
till
gotta-
I'm south of the next pillar along to the right. Thank you.
So you run off, scurrying on.
Yes.
Okay, top of the next round. Must be round 10, 11, I don't know. Let's have a think about spell durations, shall we?
Yeah.
This is the second round of the Wall of Force.
Yeah, I think this is the second round of the Wall of Force.
Okay, yeah. Alessandra on 17.
Must be able to kill it.
Let's give it a go.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
What's that number?
You're rolling a 12. And that is me.
That's you done. Burple on 16.
Okay, so Burple, I think, will try hitting that guy again.
Under the spiritual weapon, and then run back again.
Yes. Armor class 17.
Is a miss.
Armor class 18.
Class 18 is a miss, I'm afraid. That's it for Burple.
Yeah, unfortunately.
On 16, it's Sessions. Sessions, let's talk about your funny wounds.
Yeah, I thought that might be coming.
You think that these wounds are going to cause you problems. And by that I mean that you're going to be at disadvantage on certain things. You also think, though, that it is fixable. Either some kind of medical treatment or some kind of magical effect should remove the debilitating effect
Lesser
of
restoration.
these wounds. You think you probably need to make an Arcana check or something, right, to actually nail it. But obviously that would be something that you would be doing at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not at disadvantage.
Okay, well,
There you go.
I think the first thing that I want to do
Yes.
is run away. The question is
you're
where
going
to
to
run away.
take
The disengage action. Yeah.
So you're taking the disengage action and then you're moving.
Oh, yeah. And I will move behind Burple. How tall's the ceiling here? This side.
So it's
30 foot in this chamber.
And in the corridor?
I think it's 30 foot everywhere, all through.
Well, I'm going to disengage and fly up to the ceiling.
In between the double doors and the Wall of Force.
Yeah.
Bad guy's time. Comes around quickly, doesn't it?
Okay, I take a bonus action.
Of course.
I throw the crushing coin at it. Oh, I'm plus 19.
Plus 19 is a miss, I'm afraid. It's all gone very quiet last week.
It
It was very boisterous and fun. I thought there was high energy this week. It's not so
Yeah,
good.
well, we're moving
On we
towards
go.
You
First of
accused
all,
us
Rain.
of kind of being at each other's throats last week.
Yeah.
You were.
Mm.
Angel 1 swoops back through the doors and into the chamber to the north. Angel 2 swoops at Parker, tries to attack Parker. Armor class 15, not enough. Swoops through Parker and comes back round behind Alessandra and Buggy and the Kiosk Knight, right in the eastern side of the room. Angel 3 starts wheeling around the chamber again. Again, it looks like they basically follow a pattern. So Angel 3 is just circling around the chamber, doesn't attack anybody. The big thing is going to attack Uncle Buggy. Its first attack against Uncle Buggy is with its funny eyes. It hits armor class 16, not going to be enough, is it?
No.
Second eye, 27.
That's it. Can I do the thing I use as a reaction that does damage?
Is there a name for it, like something from the rules?
Yes, Wrath of Storm.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
And I will use Channel Divinity. I think I've got one left to maximize damage. So it needs to make a Dexterity 14 save or take 16 points of thunder damage, save to half.
It saves, so it takes no damage. You, on the other hand, take 6 points of slashing damage.
I'm raging, so I'm taking half.
It does 3 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
And it drains you 2 points of intelligence, not that anybody would ever notice. Then,
well, I'm getting a bit worried here. I'm on 6 intelligence.
Well, that's okay. I'm on 5 intelligence. It starts to get quite disconcerting, doesn't it?
Okay, well, it hits armor class 23 with the first longsword blow.
How do I record? I'm trying to work in Hero
Click
Lab.
on intelligence. There'll be a modifier at the bottom that says you can apply other modifier and just apply -2.
I'm in Hero Lab.
Hero Lab?
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it in Hero Lab.
I didn't realise you were playing D&D in 1998.
Have you tried turning it off?
You select Rage and it doesn't do anything to any of the modifiers.
And then you take the following puncta of
Just halve it all, please.
3 points of slashing damage, and you take 3 points of necrotic damage. But the wound, irrespective of the fact that your rage is resisting the damage, is alive. It starts to wiggle and open and close in a disconcerting way. Second attack. Oh, it's a 20. Double damage on all of this, and then we're going to roll to confirm and see if we also draw a card. 8 points of slashing damage, and it does 9 points of necrotic damage. And then let's see if it can confirm that crit. Rolling a 16, hitting armor class 26, does confirm the crit. Let's just deal myself a card. Critical hit depth.
I'm not sure we agreed on the extra critical thing, do we? Is this an addition to the double damage you've done?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in addition.
So if you roll, say it's like triple, you're doing 5 times the amount. How did we agree to that?
I don't think we thought it through.
Okay, you feel like
Dead.
you get the sense.
I think we should stop playing it now. I
Buggy,
don't quite like it.
I think
You
he's
get
drawn
the
a
Doesn't really have much to the
card.
game.
You feel like it's learned about your weaknesses from landing that killer blow, and it's going to be more lethal in future.
I don't think we should play these cards. Can we stop playing them? Like, did we agree? It was just a trial period.
No, we definitely agreed. Yeah,
We definitely did agree, yes.
Yeah, definitely. But I think we should stop now.
I think it was surely
That was
you
the
do
last one,
this
wasn't it?
instead
Yeah, that
of
was
the
the
double
last one.
damage. No, not on top of.
No, I think we
It's
agreed
incredibly
that
lethal
was...
for characters.
Critical hits are always worse for characters, right? I don't care whether or not you chop the toe off by Goblin. That's why I've been ever so happy to encourage, support your decision, your free decision that you've made to include them. Anyway, on we go. Uncle Buggy, you've got 2 of these horrible wounds.
Surely these beetles are bored by now and would be wandering off.
You'd think, wouldn't you? It's almost as if a bitter, vengeful, guiding hand, is somehow goading them. Uncle Buggy on 9. Your wounds are opening and closing like little mouths. You feel like that's a problem for you. Well, you would do if you had any intelligence, which you don't because you didn't start with much.
Wait a
and now
second.
you've lost it.
Scaly Sessions seems to be behind me, immediately behind me. How did that
Yes.
happen?
I
He
flew up
moved
to
there.
the ceiling. I'm above you as well.
Keep an eye on Scaly Sessions there, Burble.
Yeah, with his weird mouthy arms.
Find that
Yeah.
the wound in his thigh is trying to bite your fingers off. Now, on with Uncle Buggy.
Right.
Uncle Buggy,
I'll bash.
what's left of you?
I'll bash.
What are you attacking the thing? At disadvantage.
Why?
Because of the horrible, disconcerting effect of the nasty wounds.
Oh, and he just rolled an 18 as well.
You might roll a high number with the other dice. Let's see what happens. It's very possible.
Except
No,
you didn't.
Right,
Not
that's
possible.
me. I'm not. There's no way I'm going to hit this. It's armor class 20. I've got.
Second attack? Or is that... Do you get another attack?
No.
Doesn't my
No?
barbarian rage ignore this annoying mouth wound thing?
I mean, I can't think of why it might.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't stand next to this thing. I can't hit it, and I've only got how many intelligence? 6 left.
You feel like you need to have these wounds tended to.
What was its armor class?
Until you do so, the mouths are going to make it very difficult for you to operate effectively.
Johnny, you do realise that you won't be able to disengage now you've attacked it.
No, but I'll take 1 hit off it.
And then I lose the ability to...
I can't stand next to it. If he hits me twice, I go on 0 intelligence. That's game
Intelligence
over.
is the thing. Johnny's right. He should run
Yeah.
away.
Okay.
That's why I ran away.
But you should use your
being
second
brave.
attack.
I'm
Hit it
bashing
this
it.
round.
You should
doesn't
nevertheless
run away.
use your second attack.
Don't think he has to, does he?
I'm sure it does. It's a barbarian.
It's a 4.
It's an 11.
Alright, so and now I'm going to move. Which direction?
Well, I mean, you could either head towards the bugs behind the wall of force, or you could run into the main body of the chamber, where there's plenty of room to run around.
Okay, so is now the time to run away?
I mean, there's also the tempting, beckoning sunlight filtering down through the down past the steps on the atrium on the other side. You could run all the way across,
Or you could go down into the pit.
past the other 2 corrupt angels.
5, 10,
Or
15, 20.
You could wait for my round, and I can step up and dimension door with you.
Ooh, that sounds good. Are you going to do that?
If we're doing that, what are we doing?
Someone gets left behind.
Problem
Do
is that this strategy speaks deeply into Johnny's awful trust issues.
Yes.
Yeah, but Parker's in a position where he can kind of move with us. I mean, if we're going over to the other exit,
No, but Buggy moves like lightning.
I could make my way to the other exit.
Yeah, it's Graham you want a dimension door with, right?
I can
Graham
dimension
can
door myself.
Oh no, well then
Yeah.
Alessandra.
Alessandra could fly.
It's okay running
So
through
we
the
could all
miasma,
we
isn't
could
it?
all run away then, basically.
Nobody's actually stayed in the miasma long enough to find out what deleterious effect it has.
Season.
And it
Doesn't matter,
certainly
it's
doesn't seem to affect
disadvantage,
your
isn't it?
movement
It's
when you do run
disadvantage
through
on
it.
attack rolls. So what?
yeah, I think it's disadvantage.
Yes, but you've not discovered that, because that would be metagaming.
Yes, but we have discovered that because that's what we know happens.
Yeah.
It's just awful metagaming that I cannot encourage.
Or I could do Otto's irresistible dance on it. Except I think that might
Ooh.
be concentration.
And what does that do?
Dance.
It costs
I don't
it
know.
Is
round.
it concentration?
Yes. So I'm not doing that.
Can
Because then
you
the
do,
water comes down.
I'm running to
the one that
very
gives
southern
disadvantage on attack rolls?
fairy fire.
Fairy fire is
Fairy fire,
concentration.
yeah.
It's concentration.
So you're running away.
I'm running right to the very southern wall of the room behind a pillar, and I'm using my hobbit hide. I'm sort of hiding.
It's going to strike at you with an attack of opportunity. That attack of opportunity, I'm going to randomly roll on a 1 or a 2 on a d4. It's one of the eyes.
gotta be a
on
melee
3
weapon.
or... Okay, it's the sword. Rolling a... Does it have to be a melee weapon, by the way?
Well, it can't
No,
be a
it
range.
doesn't
You've
have to
got
be.
to have a melee weapon in your hand, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but I mean, for example, if you were a bear, you wouldn't have to have a melee weapon in your hand,
I think you
right?
probably would. Yeah. And it had to be a specific.
Animals don't get
couldn't be a
attacks of
simple
opportunity.
weapon.
Google it then.
We don't need to Google it. We're going to roll 1 to 4. 1 or a 2, it's the eye.
Hang on, I'm
Three or
Googling
a
it because it's quite important for me.
Okay, off you go.
So,
It's hitting you with a sword. What's the problem?
Well, no,
might hit
I mean,
me
we're
with
going,
an eye.
we're going to establish that.
uh,
It's rolled an 18. It's at armor class 28. But what does it hit you with? Let's have a look at the rules.
this is a melee attack.
So 1 to 2, that was the eye. 3 to 4, it was the sword. It is the sword. So after this, you take 3 points of slashing damage. You take
Ooh,
10,
5.
6 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah.
And you've got another one of these horrible wounds. And that's the end of your turn, hiding behind a pillar.
Yeah.
Parker on 4. Back, yeah.
How wounded is this creature looking?
Which
The
one?
one that's just attacked
You
Johnny.
can't see it. It's on the other side of a pillar.
How wounded is this creature looking?
Thank you.
Well done, Paul.
It's very difficult for you to tell, Paul.
Oh.
Suddenly your eyes aren't working.
Give me a medicine check.
11.
Difficult to say. You think it's been quite significantly chopped up, but it doesn't look like it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's as
Okay.
good as I can
Well,
give
It's,
I think
not yet
I
hard
will
work.
move up anyway
you. Parker, back.
to the left of it.
You might be in the miasma.
Ooh, let's just do a
And
bit
I
of
will lay
quick
into it.
miasma check. No, you're okay with the miasma.
The first attack is a 14.
It's a miss.
God, roll some decent
Really
numbers.
Second
gonna-
attack. Ooh, it's a
Gonna
hit.
have to clump in the opposite. That's a 22.
That's a hit.
That's
Hit on the creature.
15 points of damage, and then a 19,
Is a miss.
and then a 15.
It's a miss. Still, thanks for coming.
And I will stay there so that Alessandra gets sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Oh, actually, sorry, one other thing.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
realised when it
Don't
did get the
apologise.
hit, it needs to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
Fine. It makes that save.
Okay.
19.
Where's the blue dice of power? On we go. Top of another round.
Alessandra.
Don't know how many rounds of the Wall of Force we've had, but I'm thinking it's got to be 3, maybe
One more.
4. On to Alessandra.
Right,
Come
I'm going to do some
on, you
serious
can do
sneak
it.
attack damage on it now.
I hope so. It's just down to 1 dice roll. Hitting armor class
Is a
18.
miss.
Oh no.
Is a
Oh,
miss.
for fuck's sake. And then she's
Roll
going to
dice, roll
move.
dice.
Yeah, you've got an Alt dice. Do you want to use your Alt dice to turn that?
Ooh.
Get another roll out of D8? You never know.
And we normally use them defensively,
We
don't we?
normally do.
Yeah.
Could use them offensively.
Dan spending other people's Alt dice. Brilliant.
No, I'm
Do
going to
it.
do it.
Do it. Goaded.
Oh, yes.
Didn't need it.
Need it.
Armor class 25.
Right, well, that's a hit.
Nice.
So 23, 26, 36 points of damage.
36 points of
Every little
damage.
And then I'm going to move in a circuitous
I mean,
route.
that is, that's
to
quite a bit
avoid.
of damage, right?
Yeah, but it's not enough,
It's not
is
enough
it?
to put it down, but it's, And then you're flying away from where you were,
Yeah.
heading
the
down
circuitous
towards the
route,
southern
so-
part of the chamber.
Yep. But I've still got it in my line
on
of sight.
16,
so
it's
I can still
burpily,
attack
herpily,
next one.
hippity hob.
Come on, Burpley, kill it.
Burpily standing in the corridor.
I think my best roll after 2 rounds is a 3. So
You can see it just
That
there,
class is
on
quite
the
high.
right, in the main chamber. There's Parker on the other side of it. It's only
Parker, how you
15
doing?
feet away from it. How you doing?
I could do Dissonant Whispers, which forces it to run away or move away from me. I basically just want to avoid getting hit.
Yeah.
Because if I get hit, then obviously there's a Wall of Force thing. I could Dimension Door over to the other side of the room.
When you get to the dimension
Yes.
dooring, Dan, isn't that kind of out of the whole complex? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Potentially. But I've got 3 4th level spells left.
Yeah, come on, let's do some damage on it.
I can shoot it from any distance, pretty much. So long as somebody's standing next to it, I can continue.
As long
to
as
try and
Parker's
extend-
going to stay there, then I don't mind, spring attacking.
How's Parker's intelligence?
Well,
Are you thick?
11
11. 2 or 3
About
rounds.
2 rounds.
of being hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's likely to be about half that end of the first round of being hit.
Yes. You're quite difficult to hit, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Relatively.
He gets plus 10 to hit, doesn't he?
Yep.
So basically, it's less than 50%
On average, that's 4
chance.
rounds then.
Yeah.
Alright, fuck it, I'm going to hit it with the Sword of Zosial and then with the Sword of Akosial.
I mean,
Could do the lightning thing on it.
what can you do the most damage on it in? I mean, use the
If
spell.
I hit it, I do the most damage, yeah.
Right. What can you spring attack and spring back?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll stay there so that Alessandra gets the sneak attack.
Okay. Let's start
Come
with the
on.
Sword of
Moving up to it.
Zosial.
Try and get above a 1.
Okay, here we go.
Trying to get above, maybe
My
a
courage.
Kill it.
Is a
8.
miss.
Fuck
Eight.
it.
Eight's
another
disappointing.
miss.
Always,
Come
eight's always
on.
a disappointing.
And-
one.
Basically, I've just
why
not
didn't you use an
rolled.
Ort dice?
Oh.
And the
Oh.
2.
Why didn't you use an Ort dice?
Yeah, use an Ort dice.
Yeah.
I used an Ort dice.
Basically, because if I don't
You're a
keep
coward.
it, I don't. No, it's not that. It's the Wall of Force. The Wall of Force is protecting us all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should retreat with your doodad.
I could use an Ort dice and retreat.
I would retreat while you still have a doodad.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. Keep it for defensive purposes.
Don't just
Mm.
wiggle your doodad around willy-nilly.
Back there. So that's 3 rounds of misses. It's going well.
On 16, his wounds alive with disturbing mouth movements. It's Session Zeeper.
I'm going to try cure wounds on myself,
wounds are alive.
hoping that might do
It
something.
cures wounds and it solves the problem. Sessions.
Yay!
Hey.
Hooray.
How many of those do you have?
You got a happy stick, haven't you?
I've got the happy
Yeah.
stick. I got loads.
Hey!
Loads of happy.
I wonder where Buggy's going to go next round.
Buggy's got his own.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I haven't got a
He's
happy stick.
junior. Yeah, but you're junior cleric.
Altar boy.
I can't. I'll have to stop raging.
Oh yeah.
No, I can't do that.
It's
How
not-
wounded is Buggy, by the way?
Not
Buggy doesn't
too
have enough
bad.
intelligence
I'm
left
on
to know.
49 out of 123.
Buggy never had enough intelligence.
I didn't realise how close you were in intelligence to Nodbod the monkey.
Well, that's why we had something in common.
So that gets rid of the open wounds, does it?
That gets
The
rid
healing.
of what they're called the living wounds sessions, yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I reckon
But
the
not the
lesser
reduced
restoration.
intelligence.
Not
That's
the
probably
reduced
lesser
intelligence.
restoration.
You got a feeling that it's
Lesser
not just a
restoration.
question of the intelligence being reduced, but also you feel you're stepping ever further down the path towards wormhood.
Yeah.
Oh, if you reach 0.
Gaily.
A
You wouldn't
worm.
want Chaos worms to eat all of your intelligence now, would you? Is that it for your sessions? Because normally you've got something else that you've
oh
not.
no!
Ah,
I'll use
there
my
we go,
bonus
you see.
action to throw the
Learnt my
crushing
lesson.
coin at
Yep.
it.
Rolling a 10.
For an 18.
On plus
in
18
which
is a
the
miss. And we move on to the bad guys. Okay, let's start with the angels. Angel 1 swoops around and tries to swoop
That's Angel
through Parker. Sorry,
Hang on,
Angel
that's
2.
Angel 2. Angel 1
has-
went
Angel 1 has swept up into the northern chamber. Angel
Like
2
an
trying to
episode
swoop
of
through
UFO.
Parker,
Oh,
rolls
lovely.
a 1 and fails. And it swoops on. Not he, it's androgynous. As in, her name is androgynous. And here comes Hermaphrodite. The next one, swooping round, goes
Terrible.
uncorporeal, through the pillar, through Parker,
How
disappointingly
far can they move?
rolls a hitting armor class 18
No.
and keeps on swooping.
How far can they move?
You think they can move somewhere between 100 and 200 feet?
Freet.
They can move between
Well, they
100 and 200 feet a turn, depending upon what they do. Finally, it's
The big guy.
Captain Clanky.
Oh, God. Here we go. Right.
Here we go.
Now
The-
we
we
discover
got
whether it was
start with the eyes, or do you want to start
sacrifice.
with the
Do
sword?
just whatever.
Well, the eyes
Let's do
have
the
it.
eyes. Let's have an eye. Oh, it's a 1 with the eye.
Hi, loses the rest of his
And
go.
Now it has to confirm if it wants to carry
no.
on attacking.
That's
It
the only go.
does lose the rest of its go unless it rolls. I don't know what we're doing with this. I thought we got rid of critical fumble cards, but it seems perverse not to keep our rule about the 1. Yes?
Yeah.
So I think it has to roll, and if it fails, it takes a card. If it succeeds,
still
that's
loses.
not a hit. It just means it's no longer a critical fumble. It's just a miss.
Yes, and it can have its second attack.
Okay, so it's going to roll now. Here we go. Let's see whether or not it misses with that second hit. It rolls an 18 and it does not miss. So that is just a regular miss. The second attack with the eye, or with the other eye, with a 14 hits armor class 24.
Oh, shit.
You take 6 points of slashing damage as this eye springs out of its eye socket and goes.
Hang on, how many times can it do this? It's only got 2
It's got 2
eyeballs.
eyes, and it does it with both of them in each round, and then it gets 2 sword attacks. It gets 4 attacks around this thing.
But the thing,
But the thing, and
the worm stays in its eye, doesn't pop out.
no, the worms live in his skull and just leap out, yeah,
And then go back in
snapping
again.
away. Yeah. That's exactly how it works.
Lovely.
The
And-
enthusiasm in Mike's voice there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
2 points of intelligence are drained from Parker.
Could be worse.
Then it attacks with a long sword. The first attack with a long sword hits armor class.
Oh,
27,
It's worse.
doing 15 points of slashing damage, and it does 8 points of necrotic damage. And then the last attack with the is a miss.
God
Is a
third.
miss with a 2.
So,
So
another 8
Parker,
points of
Parker, you've got living wounds on your
Yeah.
flesh. You feel that the psychic impact of that is debilitating, and it's going to affect your future progress as a person.
but what about as my attack rolls, or what's the...
That's metagaming. Let's get into that later. Yeah, that would be metagaming to talk about that, Parker. Pushing on with this round,
Buggy.
hiding cravenly behind a pillar in the southernmost part of the room is Uncle Buggy.
I'm going to stop raging as a bonus action. Then I'm going to do a Cure Light Wounds as a second level spell.
Yep.
11 hit points. I suppose my horrible wounds disappear.
Your horrible wounds are fixed.
And then I will just keep hiding behind the pillar.
I'm surprised you haven't melded into stone yet.
That's to come. I believe.
That's a whole other level.
My heart's in the right place. I just can't. My brain isn't. I can't stand next to it. It's just going to eat my intelligence.
Parker, on we go. Parker.
I'm going to move round it to the south east.
Not leaving its reach.
Not leaving its reach on the chance that somebody might touch me on the back with a Cure Wounds. Let's see if we get better rolls.
It again. Yep. Oh,
Lux.
7. 7's not good.
Creeping up
14
slowly.
is a miss.
It's
It's
a
just
miss.
ridiculous. Don't understand. Haven't rolled above.
One.
Fuck's
Oh,
It's
God.
a miss.
I suppose that's a fumble, isn't it?
It's a miss.
I just don't understand
Now,
how you...
Parker, according to the convention that we agreed just the round before.
No, it's not worth the gamble.
That's it? The end of your round? You're all done?
Just
That is, I have to say, that is extremely pleasing. Onto the top of the net. God knows how many rounds this combat has been going on.
I mean, the ridiculous
This is
thing
like
is,
round
it's
13 or
should
14 or
be-
something.
I should have a better
Ridiculous.
than 50% chance
The
of
never-ending wall of force. It's
Literally hit it.
Alessandra on 17.
once.
I've had 3 rounds of attacks on it, Mike.
Here comes Rangefinder
3.
Boy again. Paul's obsessed
At
with
least
his
I'm not the
rangefinder.
only one. Come on, Paul, do some damage on it.
okay.
Paul's looking elsewhere. Paul's measuring distances to escape.
Paul is going. Well, not
Shoot,
Paul.
then move.
Alessandra is going to shoot.
I was talking to a chap called Hamilton the other day. Readers, you will have heard this because it was stuck on at the beginning of an episode before this. We were talking about his streaming actual play projects. And he described one of them as that they play in character, out of character. So they literally are the characters all the way through, even when they're just talking before they actually play. I experience.
It's not a terrible idea. I quite like that idea.
I explained that was the reverse of us.
Yeah, that is
We literally
We never
refer
get
to each
into
other's
character.
characters by our player names.
Yeah.
We just say, like, Graham, can you run round the corner and do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
We
totally...
can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway,
Can I have my round?
No,
what was Paul doing?
God knows.
Hitting
Oh,
on
it's
the
a hit, it's a hit.
Lovely.
It's a hit,
first of all
Paul.
hit. Oh,
Damage.
sneak damage. Come
First
on.
decent hit for a while. It's got loads of hit points, but it can't go on forever.
36 points of damage.
36 points of damage is
Not
not
enough.
Kill it.
And then I'm going to move and dash up to the other exit, as it were,
The west entrance.
the west
So you're
entrance.
zipping all the way across and out to the other,
entrance.
up to the other way.
Yeah.
You can see sunlight filtering down the staircase on the other side,
Yep.
beckoning, inviting sunlight.
Yep.
And you can hear the sounds of the jungle beckoning you forwards.
Yep.
Maybe you'll meet documentary series. Burple on 16. Burple. Let's move on to Burple and
I've
his
changed
misses on 16.
My dice in an
Your other
attempt
dice have gone into
to
dice
roll
jail.
better.
Here we go.
Oh, can I just do a quick check? How's he looking?
He's not looking great. Right, Burps.
Right, Burps is going to have a go. His 4th round of trying to attack.
Come on, you're getting it this time. You're getting it this time.
New
Round.
dice. New dice.
dice.
New dice.
Yes, exactly.
New dice.
New dice. Here we go.
New dice.
Starting with the short sword of Icosiel.
Come on, Dan.
Yeah, here we go.
Come
Here
on,
we
you
go.
have to believe.
To coin a Nico phrase, you've got to
To coin to coin.
You have
You've
to
got
believe.
to believe, but then
Got to
also you have to
believe
roll
this-
your dice against the teacup to make it work. But anyway, come on, roll against the teacup.
Okay,
rolling
rolling
against the
against the
teacup. Here we go.
Here we go.
Extra power.
Oh,
yes.
it's a 23.
That's like a miss.
23
That's
is
a
a
miss.
hit of the teacup.
It's a hit.
Nice
with
colours
the
as well.
short
Nice coloured
sword.
dice.
Yes,
Clouds
it's the
of
petrol
That's
dice.
the ping of success off the teacup of glory.
Okay, so this does an enormous
Come on.
So
6 points of piercing damage and
Yeah, and the
another
rest?
3 points of lightning damage.
Yeah, and the rest.
Yeah. That's just the first bit.
That's just the start.
okay, I mean things don't look
At
great for
9.
Clanky Boy.
I'm going to throw in a...
Is this something you can do after you know whether or not you've hit?
Yes. Do you want me to read it to you again?
No.
I'm going to use a point of the thing that I can't remember the name
Bardic
of.
Inspiration.
Bardic
Do you want me to read it
Inspiration.
to you again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bardic Inspiration to do
Mhm.
an extra I can't remember how much it does. I think it's 5d6.
Yep.
Psychic blades. There we go.
No, I can remember it's
5d6. It's 5d6. Shush.
Come on.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
16, so that's 25. Point de damage.
I got some bad news for you.
Oh.
The other sword, come on.
Not for you, Dan. I've
No.
got bad news for everybody else.
What?
Because as Burple's psychic blades slash into this creature, it staggers and it bursts apart in an explosion of armour and worms and horror.
Yes.
And Dan is going to be insufferable as a result.
Well, of course, obviously it takes a bit
It
of skill
collapses to the
to
ground.
take one of these things down. I was just, taking my
Allowing
time.
us a chance
Yeah, like
to get some glory.
giving the junior members of the team a chance to.
And as it does so, the tendrils of green smoke that have been snaking their way into this chamber, the ones that seem to somehow fuel this miasma of corruption that surrounds the pit, similar tendrils issue from the collapsed form of this figure. They link up with the tendrils that are coming out of the pit, and you can feel a rush of eldritch energy climbing towards you from the pit.
Great.
And we will find out what that means.
No, we won't.
What other evils lie in wait for you as you push further, deeper under the Ziggurat of Chaos.
Oh, we really
Pick things up next week.
God forbid. We won't learn any of that.
Take my
We won't
clothes off
remember any of
and
this.
run and jump.
And frankly, thank God it wasn't Buggy who killed him.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Spire of Long Shadows and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Spire of Long Shadows was written by Jesse Decker. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening!